It's become part of the city's culture, identity, history. But this sport goes beyond the fortress. The Scarlet and Gray.
The UNLV men's hockey team has dominated.
Our boys in silver.
It's a great opportunity. It's a great challenge. It's the right time. It feels right.
The Monsters in the north.
The Golden Knights are beefing up their minor leagues with the Night Monsters. They begin playing this upcoming season.
And the next generation.
When we scored the overtime goal, it's like, really? That just happened?
The Vegas Junior Golden Knights girls made history by becoming the first female hockey team to represent the state.
They live at the rink. They love the game.
Vegas wanted hockey. Vegas got hockey.
Covering every local team on the ice, this is Hockey in the Desert Weekly.
Welcome inside another edition of Hockey in the Desert Weekly. I'm Vince Sapienza. Now, while this is just the second episode of the season, it is the last one without meaningful NHL regular season hockey highlights. The preseason is done, and now the quest for a cup is officially underway. But before we get there, let's fire home a snapshot of what's in store over the next 30 minutes. We'll introduce you to the newest Swedes of the VGK who shined in the preseason for the guys in gold. Take another trip up to Lake Tahoe. Plus, we'll hear from the Skatin Rebels following their season opening weekend on the road. Now, the Golden Knights finished their exhibition schedule, 3 wins, 3 losses. And the final 2 games, with most of the regulars in the lineup, Vegas lost, giving up a combined 9 goals. It left a sour taste in the mouth of head coach Bruce Cassidy, though he feels everything is correctable. Here's my part 2 conversation with Vegas's bench boss. Every coach says the goal is obviously Stanley Cup this time of year, but you said something interesting at the start of the camp. You want to be the best defensive team in the Pacific. You said that 2 years ago, and now you're re-emphasizing that again. Why is that so important, I guess?
Well, it's an identity. I think, yeah, we want to win the Stanley Cup, but okay. So now what's the plan to get there and beat 31 other teams, including a bunch in your division and conference, et cetera. So I just felt like that was the formula for us, looking at the roster. Really good down the middle. 2-way players, 200-foot players, great decor. So let's build around the strengths of that. I think we got really consistent goaltending. 2 guys that are still young enough, trying to prove themselves. A little friendly competition between them. Aiden Hill's won a Stanley Cup. Sammy's been in the league and won big games. So that's just what I feel. I feel there's enough talent in the room. We'll score, but let's not hang our hat in that every night. Let's be the team that's hard to play against. We got big men in that room. We might be the biggest team in the National Hockey League. If not, I'm sure we're in the top 2 or 3. So let's use that to our advantage. 4 Nations face-off, you get added to the coaching staff. A lot of Vegas ties on that coaching staff. I'm curious, what is the challenge as your first half of the season, and then you split off to do that? Is that difficult or? No. Listen, we met in Edmonton in August, the whole Canadian staff and general manager's team, and just put a little bit on blueprint of, okay, here's what to expect going forward. Here's a little bit of what we want you to do. And John Cooper's the head coach. We've had a few calls along the way. Here's some assignments along the way at your convenience. Take care of your area. So no, it's a little more on your plate, but to me it's an honor and a privilege to represent, to A, coach the National Hockey League, and B, represent your country, so I'm happy to do it. I know you've talked about your pregame, you like to walk the dog, you like to kind of just relax. I don't think we've ever asked you what your postgame after a win ritual, how does Bruce Cassidy treat himself after a win? Well, Krim sometimes brings down a box of burgers that are left over in the suite, so usually we're starving, so we haven't eaten since 2 o'clock. So it's something to do with food. There's great food in the lounge too, so a quick bite to eat. Honestly, if my kids and Julie are at the game, grab them, let's go home. Because honestly, we're back to the rink the next day by 8 o'clock. So there's not a lot of celebrating going on. You're on to the next game. If it's a day off, maybe you put your feet up, stay home, stay up an extra hour and watch Saturday Night Live or whatever it happens to be on that night.
Bruce Cassidy, good taste in TV right there. Now, following up on a story we brought you last week, we told you about Tanner Pearson. He was making a big impression on the front office, the coaching staff, and his teammates, all while playing on a professional tryout. Well, fast forward a week, for the first time in franchise history, that PTO turned into a one-year contract worth $775,000. Now, Pearson saw the most preseason action of any player in the Knights organization, playing 5 of the 6 exhibition games, putting up 3 points, 2 goals. He has seamlessly fit in with Keegan Colasar and Brett Houghton, finding a home on the left wing of what has become Bruce Cassidy's fourth line, also known as the identity line.
Yeah, it was a long summer and not knowing what was going to happen here. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. It's definitely nice. You could say keep the dream alive. But yeah, it's a lot of hard work and being positive throughout the way. And I thought I've done a good job of that, but it's nice to be sticking around.
Now, it was a relatively healthy training camp for Cassidy and his guys, though the biggest cause for concern has been William Karlsson. He was a full participant the first 3 days of camp, but since then he has not been seen skating with the team. The Vegas bench boss said the original Misfit has been skating on his own since October 2nd, though his status ahead of the home opener Wednesday is still in question. Now, to quote the legend that is William Karlsson, "We've been up and down. But no matter the success or season, number 71 has always been one of the most popular guys to the Medieval Maniacs, as well as in the locker room. However, while he has plenty of friends within the confines of the Fortress, Season 8 marks just the second time in Vegas' tenure. He has 2 fellow Swedes to share the spotlight with, Victor Olofsson and Alexander Holtz. And we'll introduce you to both here on Hockey in the Desert, but we start with the guy getting the first crack at replacing another original Misfit in Jonathan Marchessault on the top line. General Manager Kelly McCrimmon said this season someone is going to be the beneficiary of all the openings and opportunity throughout the lineup, and you could argue no one has a better chance to take advantage than Olofsson.
Beats it back to the lane, across he goes, Olofsson shoots, scores! Here's Olofsson, scores!
Just the success they've had here in the past few years kind of speaks for itself, and you always want to be part of a good hockey team, and when they showed interest, felt like a really easy decision, and I feel like it could be a good fit for me too, so I'm really excited.
The 29-year-old signed a one-year deal with Vegas worth a little more than $1 million. Victor Olofsson will be entering his 7th NHL season this fall, and it looks like early on he'll be playing on the right wing of Jack Eichel, the same guy he started his first 3 seasons with in Buffalo.
He's kind of one of the best playmakers in the world, and I really like to shoot the puck, so that was kind of a good fit right away. And that was my first couple of years in the league. He helped me a lot coming in and becoming an NHL player, and just kind of look up to him in a lot of ways. And just his work effort and his pure skill is something to take after. So it's been fun.
In Buffalo, making notice is Victor Olofsson, slapping one in the back of the net, coming down the right side.
In 314 games, the Swede has scored 90 career goals, hitting the 20-goal milestone 3 separate times. The first alongside Eichel in the 2019-20 season.
Wide, Eichel able to knock it down and keep it in. Here's some room for Olofsson with the shot, scores! First in the National Hockey League for number 41, Victor Olofsson.
Olofsson is coming off a rough campaign where he tallied just 7 goals and 15 points in 51 games with the Sabres. Cassidy is hoping that the opportunity alongside someone he's familiar with, who just so happens to be an elite centerman, will be just the medicine to snap him out of that scoring slump.
You notice it right away, like even if you're playing with new guys, or like I've been playing with Jack before, but you know if the chemistry is there right away, and I felt it right away today, so it's definitely excited to be playing with him.
A smart player, quick, fast, with the skill and vision, so he fits every single check mark, to be honest, and it's a lot of fun to play with him.
I definitely want to show myself and prove that I can be a player who can be on top lines here, and I felt good out there. It was fun to play alongside Ikes and Barbashev, and I felt like we had some good chemistry, like I said, and I'm just gonna try to build on that.
Despite all the ice, we're just getting warmed up here on Hockey in the Desert Weekly. Coming up, we check in with the Tahoe Night Monsters, whose training camp is officially underway, and we'll hear from head coach Alex Lowe next.
1-0 Vegas.
You're watching Hockey in the Desert Weekly.
He's ready to, could be ready to pop this year, so to speak. I don't want to put too much pressure on him, but we do feel that way, that, you know, he's taken steps, and now it's the next one to be an NHL regular every night.
White Cloud on goal, it's in! Dorofeyev was parked in front and goes home to drive from White Cloud.
With the sort of idea that, hey, you're going to play with a good centerman and you're going to be given opportunities to score because we believe you can do it.
Looking for more. Hurdle to the right, score! It is Pavel, 3 today.
I've always liked Pav. He's a good kid. He works hard, very little maintenance, and it's nice to see his progression.
Welcome back inside Hockey in the Desert Weekly. The Golden Knights saw a lot of talent walk out the door this past offseason, but they were able to keep a couple guys to new deals this offseason, starting with Pavel Dorofeyev, who signed a 2-year contract this summer with an average annual value of $1.835 million. And when all is said and done, it might prove to be the biggest bargain on the roster after the 23-year-old winger led the team this preseason with 4 goals and 6 points. As you heard from Bruce Cassidy, he's gotten a lot of attention from his head coach as well as his captain.
When he gets to the net, he scores a beautiful goal in tight, gets a tip goal, and then gets a one-timer goal. I mean, he's finding ways to put himself in good spots, and he's understanding who he's playing with, finding loose spots with Hurdle, who's working the back of the net, and Holtz is trying to get open. I think if those guys can work the puck low, he's going to score a lot of goals.
On the same day Dorofeyev's contract was announced, the team also found common ground with 23-year-old Skatin Rebels, who signed a 2-year deal with an average annual value of $820,000. Rebels has just 37 NHL games to his name, suiting up in 26 a season ago, where he put up 9 points in that span. Injuries were one of the main reasons that kept him from playing more a season ago, but this summer, General Manager Kelly McCrimmon says the right-handed blue liner has shown enough to prove to the franchise that he's an everyday NHL player.
No, it's nice to get that recognition from Kelly for sure, and there's another step in the right direction this year, this summer, I guess, getting a new contract, so that obviously helps a little bit. And it's a little different for sure, a little bit more comfortable with all the guys and stuff. Obviously playing a little bit more games last year and being around the guys a lot more, so definitely more comfortable out there. Just the little habits, I'd say. Everyone's obviously a really good player, and just those little things that kind of separate all those players.
Now, one of the newer faces for the Knights this season is in net with Ilya Samsonov, who will serve as the backup to Adin Hill. The 27-year-old is entering his 6th season in the NHL, spending the last 2 years with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Samsonov signed a 1-year contract worth $1.8 million as an unrestricted free agent. He said the decision to come to Vegas was easy.
So excited, a new opportunity for me. Great team, great defensemen, great coaches, nice city, yeah, everybody knows this. Yeah, it's a great opportunity for me. This team is a big contender in the league. Yeah, just I enjoy to be here. Adin, he's probably the first guy who has texted me after I'm signed contract. Yeah, he's such a nice guy. He's helped for me a lot. We try to talk a little bit more, we know each other. Yeah, he's a great guy. It's a big opportunity for me and for him. I'm here for just his team gets some better. It's not about by myself. I want to push Adin. He will be push me. It's really good for a team. I'm set for every team in the league. If you get some 2 good goalies, it's huge for a team.
In another goaltending news, it seems the Robin Lehner saga as it pertains to the Golden Knights finally has a resolution. Reports surfaced this week that the NHL, the Players Association, and the VGK have all come to an agreement on a settlement, one that will see Vegas pay the remaining $4.5 million of his contract, though it will not count against their salary cap this season. Lehner has not played since April of 2022 and failed to show up for his mandatory physical prior to training camp last month. No comment from the Golden Knights or the Players Association. For the last 2 seasons, the Golden Knights' ECHL affiliate were the Savannah Ghost Pirates. It's there where the organization hired Alex Lowe as an assistant. This past season, Lowe was named interim head coach in Savannah to finish out the season before being named the first head coach in the Tahoe Night Monsters franchise history. He says while he'll remember his days in Savannah fondly, his job now becomes that much easier with the team being located in the same state as the rest of the organization.
The biggest hurdle is, honestly, communication was tough in Savannah. It's a 3-hour time difference. So they'd be finishing up games in Vegas and Henderson at 1 a.m. our time. And you're trying to get players ready to jump on a flight at 7 a.m. the next day because they need somebody. And it was just, that part of it was difficult. And you can see why most NHL teams have kept their American League team as close as possible, just because for that reason. You save so much time, effort, and money with those call-ups and send-downs and transactions and stuff like that. Now, with us being an hour flight away from Vegas, it just makes it that much easier.
Come here on Hockey in the Desert Weekly. We are carving up the ice with the Scarlet and Gray. The Skatin Rebels opened their season on the road. We'll tell you how they did, plus hear from their head coach next. Welcome back inside Hockey in the Desert Weekly. I am Vince Sapienza, fresh off their best finish in program history. The Skatin Rebels opened up the 2024-25 campaign in the same place it ended just a few months ago, St. Louis, Missouri, with a Division I test against Lindenwood University, a former ACHL powerhouse who has made the successful transition to NCAA Division I status, something the Skatin Rebels hope to do in the not-too-distant future. However, this past weekend, they came up just a bit short, losing 5-1 and 6-3 respectively. To figure out what went wrong, we bring in now the Skatin Rebels bench boss, Anthony Vinieri-Greener. And Coach, obviously a tough weekend. I know exciting to get the season going. What did you see in those two games against Lindenwood?
Honestly, I saw a lot of positive. I'm proud of the boys, especially today, how they responded being down 2-0 and just battling back, facing some adversity, battling back, taking a 3-2 lead. Obviously, we didn't get the outcome we wanted, but there's a lot of positive to come from this, just being the first 2 games of the year.
I know we talked during the offseason about how you wanted this program to test itself against NCAA caliber teams, feeling your team was ready for those kind of challenges. When you look at the different parts over the weekend, what gets you most excited when you begin, conference play and different things like that as the season moves forward?
I think we're an extremely young group. We're gelling together faster than we thought it was going to happen. So for this opening weekend where we just get to open up against Oregon, I'm excited to see how we respond after 2 tough losses on the road.
You know, there's a common phrase within the coaching circles that I know you know very well. You don't win or lose, you win or learn. So what was the biggest thing you did learn about this group that maybe you didn't necessarily know during training camp?
I think for a young group, they're resilient. They face some adversity. There's some highs and some lows. They stayed pretty even keel throughout the weekend. And like you said, it's a learning curve. I think that you live and learn. And this is a great weekend. We have 8 freshmen playing their first college hockey game against Division I opponents. It's a good club over there, and, they deserve the wins. But overall, extremely proud, excited for the future for this group.
Last month, we were able to peel back the curtain a little bit as you guys announced your leadership group led by the captain, Matias Del Monte. I'm curious what you saw out of that quartet over the weekend, how they handled things in the room, on the ice. What did you glean from that?
Yeah, I think that Dells and the rest of the boys, Preston up front, they stepped up when needed, spoke when needed, and, they did what they were going to say they did, or do, excuse me. They put their hearts out there for the boys. They led by example, and that's just a small glimpse of what we're going to get all year. So exciting to see.
And now let's look ahead a little bit. I know it's still fresh off of this past weekend, but as we look ahead to the home opener, City National Arena, University of Oregon, team 2-game set starting on Friday. A lot of success against the Ducks a season ago. I know you can't transfer one season over to the next, but what do you expect in this challenge in your home opening weekend?
I just want to see how they respond. We've got to reset, tomorrow, just rest and relax, get in the cold tubs, they bump some bruises playing on Saturday and Sunday, so we're going to have a long Monday off. And we're right back to it in the gym on Tuesday and practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with a pregame skate. But I'm extremely excited to see our fans come out first time, obviously, this season. We have a great showing, against an opponent who's going to continue to get better each and every year. So we're looking to see the fans out there and, again, looking to see how they respond on a tough weekend.
And just lastly, I know the culture that you have been creating over the number of years, but every year there's a new identity that is created within the team. So as fans get excited to come out to City National Arena for that home opening weekend, what kind of identity can they expect from this Skatin Rebels group?
Yeah, I think we've got a new foundation. Our message this year is kind of brick by brick. So it starts at the bottom. We've got to have a good foundation. And you can see that with our freshmen. And then all the way at the top of the pyramid there is the wall. Is guys like Dells and Cole Wyatt, Kyle Quinn, the guys that have been here. So that's what our identity is this year. Is you're going to see a team that plays fast. We like to go north with the puck right away. And then, it starts with Jeremy and Doug and net. We have 3 great goalies. So it starts there, but you're going to see us play really fast. And the depth on forwards is the deepest team we've ever had here at UNLV. So it's going to be a great opening weekend.
That is Skatin Rebels head coach Anthony Vinieri-Greener. Coach, safe travels, get some rest, and we will see you at City National Arena this coming weekend. Thank you so much for the time. We are taking one more break here on Hockey in the Desert Weekly. And as we head to break, you're taking a look at T-Mobile Arena. And you can expect the Fortress will be on fire for the Golden Knights season opener against Colorado. When we return, we're clearing the ice. Keep it here. And in our first continuing quest segment of the season, we go to Prague in the Czech Republic, home of this year's Global Series, which kicked off the NHL season featuring Buffalo, New Jersey. But the star of the weekend, former Knight Stanley Cup champ Paul Cotter, in his Devils debut scores an empty netter and then less than 24 hours puts this beauty on display. 2 goals in as many days. And tonight we are clearing the ice, literally, with the help of everyone's favorite flower. During a Minnesota Wild exhibition game this past week, Marc-Andre Fleury did not play, but still wanted to get in on the action, so he decided to hatch a plan, as he's been known to do, grab himself a disguise complete with hair, glasses, and a sweet stash, and unbeknownst to his teammates, joined the Wild Ice Crew to shovel some snow. A preseason prank of epic proportions and one that can only be pulled off by someone with the grace and grandeur of the soon-to-be Hall of Famer. Thanks for joining us here on Hockey in the Desert Weekly. We'll see you next week.